Welcome to episode 6 of the ATLAMC Minecraft Survival Let's Play. I hope you enjoyed that time-lapse. We built up this Earth Kingdom outpost. This outpost is going to be used, the main floor is going to be used as a map area so that I can keep lots of detailed maps of all the builds going on in the area. And the second level is going to be my new storage room. The build palette I used was a lot of stripped logs, green terracotta, and sandstone. For the walls, I tried to go for a gradient look, going from dark oak to spruce and then to oak. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really love the flag on top of the build. In this episode, we're going to be getting our base organized and be doing lots of building. Let's go! Alright, the first thing on today's agenda is I want to take a look at finishing off the interior to the Earth Kingdom outpost, and I want to update this map and put the updated map here, and I want to move all of my items from over there into these chests and organize my ender chest. It's a lot to do, but I think we can do it. What do you think? Let's get started. So I moved over all my stuff and got it organized. To me, the most important thing when organizing your chests is coming up with categories and then subcategories to really help you narrow down and find what you need. Like over here, I've got all my wood. Over here, I've got all sorts of nature stuff, but more typically, this is plants, flowers, the dyes that come from the flowers, and bushes down here. Or over here I have all the colored blocks like wool, terracotta, concrete, and concrete powder. You get the idea. I decided to accent this space with green shulkers, so if I'm ever getting ready to do a project, I can just grab a shulker from the side here, plop it down, and then get my project box ready to go. Now, there are some flaws with this storage room, like not having enough chests for all the categories that I'm going to need in the future, but it'll suit my needs for now. I've done a little bit more work on the interior downstairs. I've created a meeting table with some chairs, and I think I'm going to bring you guys in and we're going to do some extra decoration to this table together. Now, to do this decorating, we're going to be using one of the data packs that I have enabled on my world called the Armor Stand data pack. But first, in order to use this data pack, I have to do a little bit of crafting. So first thing you need to do is get a book, an ink sac, and a feather and make a book and quill. Next, you need to open your book and write a little story. When you're happy with your story, press sign and name it statues. And then you press sign and close, and now you have the statues book. With this book, you can do a lot of cool things, such as making item frames invisible, or make armor stands have other cool features, such as having arms, being a tiny stand. You're able to change the pose of the armor stand, and you're able to do a lot of other cool things with this book. Now, how I want to use it with this table is similar to how I used it with this book. I want to put down a lot of item frames and have papers and books scattered around to make it look like the Earth Kingdom's planning something against the Fire Nation fleet. So first we put down an item frame, put some paper in it, position the paper how we want it, and now you can open up your book, aim right next to the item frame and click, and you can go to the item frame tab. We can now make the item frame invisible, and we can now fix the item frame. This will make it so that you're not able to turn the paper anymore. And now after a little bit of armor stand magic, we have this actually looking like a meeting table. We've got the guy here who keeps track of the time. We have our note taker. We have the leader with his sword and his shield. And the note taker also brings his sword and his shield to the meetings. And once again, we have the map of the enemy nation's fleet. If you're interested in the armor stand data pack, you can get it at vanillatweaks.net. Now that we have that out of the way, I think it's about time we fill up this map wall. And just like that, we can see the difference just a few episodes makes to a map. So the maps on the left are locked maps, so even if I pick them up, they're not going to update. They're going to stay as they were when I first created them. And the maps on the right are unlocked, so I can just pop it off and update it whenever I've done any significant work in the area. In order to lock a map, you need to come to a cartography table, take your map, and combine it with a glass pane. That will give you a locked map, meaning that it can't be updated. Moving on from the maps, I want to talk about my first big project. I've scouted out a place just off a little bit over to the side of Kyoshi Settlement where I want to build a replica of Kyoshi Island. Now, ideally I would have had an island to build this on, but I couldn't find a good island in the area. So I've been flying around this area looking for a good bay to build up against, and if I come over here, it's a perfect little area that I think I can build up some mountains around. Oh, by the way, here's the reference photo that I'm going to be using. So I want to build up some mountains around this area here, and put the village somewhere in the center here. I'm going to have a beach area here with a walkway up to the village. It's going to be surrounded by mountains. And that's why in the last episode we collected so much stone. And I've been storing it all over here in the zombie drop chute. All of these shulker boxes are completely filled with smooth stone. I'm going to need an insane amount of stone in order to make those mountains. That's not even close to enough. So you can bet I'm going to be doing more beacon mining soon. I think it's about time we stop talking about it and actually start getting some work done. So let's start a time lapse. Welcome back, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. As you can see, I've gotten a lot of progress done. I built up the beach area a bit. I built up a lot of the mountain wireframes, and I actually filled in the first mountain. I've still got to do a second pass through of the mountain. I still want to add some texture, maybe some andesite, some dirt, maybe some leaves and nature. I've got some holes to patch up still. I also have to make a snow farm so I can put some snow at the top of the mountains. I think that might happen in the next episode. And if you're wondering how long it took to make these mountains, it didn't take any time at all thanks to Earthbending. Just kidding, in all seriousness, this took me quite a lot of hours. And down here, we can see these are all of the empty shulker boxes, and this is all the stone that I have left. So I used 8 shulker boxes worth. So that's 4 double chests worth of stone has gone into these mountains already. I think I'm going to need to find a better way to get tons of stone. A farm perhaps? Moving forward on the rest of the mountains, I'm going to have to make sure that I light up underneath them first, because lighting this up was a real pain with all the mobs that were in here. I ended up using invisibility potions to just be able to walk around the mobs without them targeting me. Potions really are your friends in dangerous situations in Minecraft. So in the upcoming episodes, I'm going to keep working on these mountains, but they're not going to be the focus of the episode. I'm going to be making farms that are going to make it easier for me to make these mountains look good. In the next episode, I want to make a snow farm and perhaps a cobblestone generator that runs into a super smelter so that I can get a lot of stone without having to mine it from the ground. I think I'm going to call the episode here now. I know the episode's a little bit shorter, but a lot of work went into those time lapses, and I want to get an episode out to you guys within about 7 days of the last episode. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to keep working on the mountains and make some farms in the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, please press the like button and consider subscribing. I'll see you next time. I also want to take this moment to thank you guys for all the support on the last video. We got to about 400 views and about 18 likes as of when I'm recording this, and I just got to thank you guys so much, and welcome to all the new subscribers.